What if I told you that the single biggest threat to your health, your energy, and even your physical safety after the age of 60 isn't what you're eating? It's not how much you're exercising. It's not your blood pressure numbers or your cholesterol. The biggest threat happens quietly, every single night, around 2 or 3 in the morning, right there in your own bedroom. I'm talking about that all too familiar trip to the bathroom, that moment when you're pulled out of a deep, restful sleep by the urge to go. For many of us, it happens once a night. For others, twice, 3 times, or more. Doctors have a name for it. They call it nocturia. But we're just going to call it what it actually is: a sleep-wrecking problem that we have been told we simply have to live with. I'm here today to tell you that is not the truth. You do not have to just live with this. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear 3-step plan to stop it, starting tonight. I'm Dr. Julian Cross, cardiothoracic surgeon, 30 years in the OR. And in all those years, one of the things that has consistently damaged my patients' recovery, their cognitive health, and their long-term quality of life is fragmented sleep. Not disease, not surgery, sleep deprivation, caused by something most doctors wave away with 3 words: it's getting older. That is not an answer. That is an excuse. Today I'm going to give you something far better. A 3-step system I call the nightly shutdown protocol. No pills, no expensive gadgets, no cutting off your water. Just 3 logical steps that work with your body's biology, not against it. Stay with me through the end, because the way these 3 steps work together is what makes the difference. Skipping any one of them reduces the results significantly. Before we get into the protocol, I need you to understand exactly what this problem is actually costing you, because most people dramatically underestimate it. First, your sleep itself. Sleep isn't like turning off a light switch. Your brain and body move through cycles, what researchers call the architecture of sleep. Deep sleep is the body's repair shop. It's when your muscles heal, your immune system strengthens, and your body physically restores itself at the cellular level. REM sleep is the mind's repair shop. It's where you form memories, process experiences, and consolidate everything you learned during the day. Every single time you wake up to use the bathroom, you shatter that architecture. You break the cycle. You might only be awake for 5 or 10 minutes, but your body has to start the entire process over again. You get cheated out of critical restorative sleep, not occasionally, every single night. Second, and this is something I want to address directly, the risk of falling. It's 2 a.m., the house is pitch black. You're not fully awake, you're groggy and disoriented. You misjudge a step, you catch your foot on a rug, you clip a piece of furniture you didn't see. A simple trip to the bathroom becomes a life-altering event. A fall can mean a broken bone, a fractured hip, a long hospital stay, and a loss of independence that never fully comes back. This is not a small risk. It is a documented serious danger that we must eliminate. Third, the price you pay the next day. You wake up tired before you even get out of bed. The golf game you were looking forward to feels like a burden. Playing with your grandchildren wears you out in minutes. Your focus is gone. Your mind feels cloudy. This is not just getting older. This is the direct result of not getting a single full night of uninterrupted sleep. And it compounds, night after night, week after week. Now, let's talk about what doesn't work. Many people think the answer is simple. I'll just drink less water. That is a dangerous trap. As we age, our bodies need to stay properly hydrated. Dehydration leads to confusion, dizziness, kidney stress, and falls. The exact problems we're trying to prevent. Cutting off your water is not the solution. The solution is understanding why your bladder fills up at night in the first place. And once you understand that, the 3 steps I'm about to show you will make complete sense. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, a gentleman I'll call Robert. Robert was in his late 70s, and he was at his wit's end. He was waking up 3 to 4 times every single night. He'd tried everything. Stopped drinking water after dinner. Tried herbal remedies. even tried prescription medication that left him feeling terrible the next day. He was exhausted and deeply frustrated. He said to me, "Dr. Cross, I feel like my own body is betraying me at night." The very first thing I recommended wasn't a pill. It wasn't a diet change. It was one simple physical adjustment to his evening routine. He was skeptical. It seemed far too simple after everything else had failed. But he was desperate enough to try. A week later, he called me. For the first time in years, he had only woken up once. By the second week, he was sleeping through the night. Here's what he did. This step is called the gravity flush. Here's the science behind it, and once you hear it, you'll understand immediately why it works. All day long, as you sit, stand, and walk, gravity is pulling down on your body. Fluid, specifically water from your bloodstream, slowly seeps out into the tissues of your lower legs. Your legs, especially your ankles and calves, are like two sponges, and they spend all day quietly soaking up this excess fluid. The medical term is peripheral edema, but it simply means fluid retention in the legs. Now, here's the critical part. If you go to bed with your legs full of this fluid, like two waterlogged sponges, what happens the moment you lie down flat? Gravity is no longer holding that fluid in your legs. So all that trapped liquid begins its slow journey back into your bloodstream. Your bloodstream carries it to your kidneys. Your kidneys do their job and filter it out, turning it into urine. And where does that urine go? Straight to your bladder. Your kidneys are working overtime all night long. Your bladder fills up again and again, sounding the alarm at 2 a.m., then 4 a.m., then again before sunrise. The gravity flush solves this by pre-draining those sponges while you are still awake. Here's exactly how to do it. About 90 minutes before you plan to go to sleep, lie down on your bed or your couch. Place 2 or 3 firm pillows under your feet and ankles. The goal is to get your feet elevated significantly higher than the level of your heart. You'll know you're positioned correctly when you feel a very slight, gentle pulling sensation in the backs of your legs. And that's it. Lie there for 20 to 30 minutes. Read a book, watch the news, talk with your spouse. Just relax. You are using gravity to your advantage, telling your body to process that accumulated fluid now, while you're still awake, instead of all night long while you're trying to sleep. When you get up after those 20 to 30 minutes, you will almost certainly need to use the bathroom. That's exactly the point. You're emptying the tank on your schedule, not at 2 in the morning. A few things to avoid. Don't do this 5 minutes before bed. It's too late. The process takes time. You need that full 90-minute window. Make sure your feet are genuinely above your heart. A small footstool won't do it. You need real elevation for gravity to do its job. And keep your legs relatively straight. Bent knees reduce the drainage path. One important note on safety. For most people, this is completely safe and comfortable. However, please check with your doctor first if any of the following apply to you. Pain or swelling in just one calf, as this can be a sign of a blood clot. Severe heart failure or shortness of breath when lying flat. A history of dizziness, falls, or diagnosed low blood pressure. Severe nerve damage, neuropathy in the feet, or any open sores or skin breakdown on the heels or ankles. If any of those apply, have the conversation with your physician before starting. For everyone else, this step alone will make a meaningful difference. But to make it truly effective, we need step 2. Step 2 happens right before you climb into bed for the night. You've done the gravity flush. You've pre-processed the extra fluid. Now it's time to make sure the main tank, your bladder, is completely, fully empty before sleep. And this step addresses something that affects most men over 60 that almost nobody talks about directly: the prostate. As men age, the prostate gland gradually enlarges. Think of your urethra, the tube that urine flows through, as a garden hose. An enlarged prostate presses on that hose, like someone gently stepping on it. This makes it difficult to fully empty your bladder in one go. A small amount of urine, maybe just an ounce, stays trapped behind. That sounds insignificant, but it's enough to wake you up 2 or 3 hours later. The technique for this step is called double voiding, and here is exactly how to do it. Go to the bathroom as you normally would, but sit down, not stand. Sit. Sitting relaxes the pelvic floor muscles in a way that standing simply doesn't. Don't rush. Take your time. Fully empty your bladder. When you think you're finished, don't get up yet. Stay seated for another 20 to 30 seconds. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Just relax. Then, stand up completely. Pause for a moment. Then sit back down again and try once more. You may be surprised to find that more urine comes out. Why does this work? By standing up and sitting back down, you are changing the position of your bladder and prostate. You are essentially unkinking that garden hose for a moment, allowing trapped urine to escape. Think of it like getting the last bit of ketchup out of a bottle. You have to tip it upside down and give it a little shake to get that final amount out. Same principle. The most common mistake here is simply rushing. We're tired. We want to get to bed. We don't want to spend an extra minute in the bathroom. Don't rush. That extra minute is what stands between you and an interrupted night. The second mistake is not actually standing up fully. Just shifting while seated doesn't create the same repositioning effect. Stand up completely. And finally, don't strain. This should be a relaxed, unhurried process. Straining creates tension in the very muscles you're trying to relax. It makes things worse, not better. Now we've drained the legs with the gravity flush. We've fully emptied the tank with the final system purge. There is one more step, and it works in a completely different direction. Because all of this becomes far less effective if we don't also control what goes in. Step 3 is built on a simple, powerful piece of logic. You cannot effectively drain a system if you keep pouring liquid into it. This step is about being intelligent, not extreme, about what you drink and when. Let's start with the big picture. The battle for a dry night actually begins in the morning. Here is the most powerful single rule I can give you for daytime hydration. Try to consume approximately 75% of your total daily fluids before the middle of the afternoon. That includes water, coffee, juice, soup, all of it. Front load your hydration. Think of your body like a busy factory. You want to get most of your raw materials delivered during the day shift, when your kidneys are running at full speed and your body is upright and active. Not dump everything at the front gate right before the night shift comes on. Your kidneys are most efficient during the day. Give them the work when they're ready for it. Now for the evening rule. Many people are told to stop all liquids 3 or 4 hours before bed. For a lot of us, that's too rigid, too difficult to sustain long term. So here's a smarter, more flexible approach. Start with one simple goal. No significant liquids for the 2 hours right before you get into bed. A small sip of water to take medication is completely fine, but no full glasses of anything. Try this for 1 week. If you're sleeping soundly through the night, 2 hours is your number. You found what works for your body. If you're still waking up, extend the window gradually. The following week, try 2.5 hours. If you still need more improvement, push it to 3. The goal is to find the shortest, effective cutoff that works for you specifically. Don't rush it. Be patient. Your body will tell you what it needs. Now, just as important as the when is the what. During the hours before your fluid cutoff, you must avoid what I call bladder agitators. These are non-negotiable: coffee and black tea. Caffeine is essentially a foreman shouting at your kidneys to work faster. It directly increases urine production, regardless of how much fluid you've actually consumed. Even decaf coffee contains enough irritants to affect a sensitive bladder. Alcohol, especially beer. Alcohol is a double problem. It speeds up your kidneys while simultaneously disabling the natural braking mechanism that tells them to slow down overnight. A drink with dinner might seem harmless. In the context of nocturia, it is not. Sodas and carbonated drinks. The carbonation and acidity act as direct bladder irritants, making your bladder feel full and urgent even when it isn't. Eliminate these in the evening, not occasionally, consistently. One thing I want to address directly: This is not about suffering through thirst. If you properly front-load your hydration during the day, you will not feel thirsty in the evening. Your body will be appropriately hydrated. The evening fluid restriction is not deprivation, it is timing. And timing, as we've seen throughout this protocol, is everything. Let's put the complete protocol together. 3 steps, done in order, every night. Step 1, the gravity flush. 90 minutes before bed. Feet elevated above heart level for 20 to 30 minutes. Pre-drain the fluid that has accumulated in your legs all day so your kidneys process it while you're still awake, not at 2 in the morning. Step 2, the final system purge. Right before you get into bed, sit, empty, wait, stand, sit again, empty once more. Make sure the tank is completely empty before you close your eyes. Step 3, the intake valve shutdown. 75% of your fluids consumed before mid-afternoon. No significant liquids in the 2 hours before bed, adjusting to 2.5 or 3 hours if needed. Eliminate caffeine, alcohol, and carbonated drinks from your evening entirely. These 3 steps are not independent of each other. They work as a system. The gravity flush reduces the overnight kidney workload. The final system purge eliminates the residual urine that triggers early waking. The intake valve shutdown ensures you're not undoing both of those with evening habits. Remove any one step, and the system is significantly less effective. Do all 3, consistently, and your body learns a new rhythm. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed, so here is your plan for the first week. Days 1 and 2, focus only on step 3. Get your fluid timing right. Identify your bladder agitators and remove them from the evening. Days 3 and 4, continue step 3 and add step 1, the gravity flush. Days 5, 6, and 7, implement the full 3-step protocol. Build into it. Let your body adjust at each stage. This is not a one-night fix. The first night, you may notice a small improvement. The second night, perhaps a little more. Your body is learning a new rhythm, and that takes a few nights to establish. Stick with the complete protocol for 1 full week. I have seen this system work consistently for patients who had been suffering for years. Robert's result in 2 weeks was not unusual. It is what happens when you address the actual biology, instead of just restricting water and hoping for the best. I want you to make a commitment to yourself, a commitment to reclaiming your sleep, your energy, your safety, your mornings. Because this isn't just about avoiding a bathroom trip. This is about waking up rested. It's about having the energy to be present for the people you love. It's about walking through a dark house at 2 a.m. and not having to. It's about taking back control of something that has quietly been stealing from you, night after night, for far too long. You said getting older means accepting broken sleep. I'm telling you, it doesn't. A squeaky door doesn't mean the house is falling apart. It means you haven't found the right tool to fix it yet. You now have the tool. 3 steps, 1 week, starting tonight. I want you to come back to this video in 1 week, and I want you to leave a comment telling me what changed. Even 1 sentence. I slept through the night for the first time in 2 years. I went from 3 trips down to 1. I finally woke up feeling rested. Your result will inspire someone else who is suffering in silence to finally take control. That is how this community works. If this video gave you something useful, please share it. Send it to someone you know who is dealing with this, a partner, a sibling, a friend. They may not know there is a system that can fix it. Now you do. And now you can share it. Like the video if it helped. Subscribe if you want more. There is a great deal more to cover. I'm Dr. Julian Cross, and I'll see you in the next video.